Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm AJ Arts and it's time to present my first art video ever. Now the topic of today's video is something that many artists everywhere may struggle with. Yes, as the title states, I'll be talking about mental illness, motivation, and how it affects your art. Now don't worry, this isn't going to be a sob fest or anything. I'm not going to get into specifics on what causes mental illness and life issues. Anyways, let's get down to it. I'll give you some background on me first. I've dealt with mental illness and depression for years now, almost as long as I've been doing art. And sadly, it's hard to do what you're passionate about, art in this case, when your brain is just being an absolute little butt crack. It does things to you like convince you you're not good enough and you never will be. It makes you too tired to even convince yourself to pull out a pencil and paper. It makes everything that isn't just laying there and sleeping feel like a chore. Now I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with these feelings that mental illness brings. I will stress this, you absolutely have to work on these things if you want to improve. Now I don't mean you have to put pen to paper, though if that would help you do so. Just that in working through problems of the mind, you have to work by changing those habits that your mental illness may have worked you into. You have to constantly change your thoughts deliberately. Take notice of every time your brain goes, "This is boring," or "I'm never going to be good enough." And when you hear those thoughts, you need to stop them straight in their tracks before they grow. If you think things like "I'm never going to get good enough," stop yourself and challenge your thoughts. Say to it, "Well, we have to start somewhere, and if we don't do it, we won't improve." If you're thinking "This is too much work," stop yourself and challenge it with "This can be fun." If you have to, try and pin down what common thoughts are stopping you from your work and write them down. Then write down what you can say to those thoughts to challenge them. If you want more information on this, I'd recommend looking up DBT worksheets. I believe this technique is called challenging negative thoughts. I learned this in a cognitive behavioral group I attended 2 years ago. Now you may want more ways to take the pressure off of yourself, in which case I recommend taking on a new mindset with your art. What I adapted was the mindset of "this is just practice." Now you may ask, what is the practice for? To get better at your art, of course. But what if it's a finished piece you're supposed to turn in for school? Well, then this piece is just practice for your future school projects. But what if it's a final exam? It's practice for your future work. What if this is for my work? Well, then it's practice for your future projects. That's right, do anything you can to take the pressure off of perfectionism. Following that, do anything you can to drop the idea of perfect. Don't let perfect consume you. Tell yourself over and over and over again that it's okay not to be perfect. After all, your art will constantly be improving over the course of your career, whether you like it or not. That's a promise. Your art will never quite achieve perfect, but you can try your damnedest to do so. Another thing you may need to do is remind yourself to have fun. Now, this can be really hard when depression or other mental illnesses are sucking the fun out of everything, but there are ways to combat that. Take time, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, and draw something super overindulgent. It can be anything. Maybe you love drawing super cutesy dresses. Draw that. Maybe it's super hot demon men. Draw that. Heck, draw something not safe for work if you want. Draw something that makes you think this is fun again. Now, maybe an issue you're having is getting started again. I'll be real, I've also had months on end where I didn't put pencil to paper at all, and when I did, everything was unfinished. In which case, I'd recommend starting off small. Take one little thing you like drawing, maybe it's Isaac, for example. Take a sheet of your sketchbook, or an open file on your drawing program, whatever, and just draw an eye. Just one. Then draw another, and another, and another. Take a break when you need to. Don't feel like you need to finish them either. Even draw something simple if you want. Drawing a simple stick man is better than nothing at all. Now, as a way to diminish the amount of work that I have to do to even get started drawing, I keep my sketchbook and a pencil on my bed so I don't have to go far to draw. Just turn over and there it is. To even do that, you just have to make a small list of what it takes to get there. Make a list of steps. Maybe you don't have a sketchbook. Jot down buy a sketchbook from the dollar store as a step. And for each step you take, congratulate yourself. Listen to yourself curiously. Ask yourself, is this enough work for today? If yes, take a break and come back to it another day. You don't even have to do everything all at once. I say this again because this took me a long time to realize it myself. You don't have to do everything at once. First off, I like the way I brought in different weights to the line. I think it adds interest to the piece. Now for something I want to improve, I want to put more care into the way I color it next time. There's a lot of white spaces that I missed. Another thing I like his expression. I think it captures his feelings well. Now another thing I want to improve, I want to put more fluidity into the pose. His pose looks a little stiff, just the slightest bit. Last thing I did well in telling the story with the line of sight. You can look at him first, then what he's looking at. Now, if you have problems with this exercise, don't be afraid to show your piece to a trusted friend or partner and ask them what they like. Sometimes it's hard to see something good when you're so used to seeing the bad, so it's helpful in getting someone else to help you see the good. Now, sorry for all the information you had to digest over the course of this video. It was years and years of learning put into a less than 10-minute video, so I hope this was all helpful to you. Don't forget these are all personal tidbits that worked for me, so it may not work for everyone. And please don't forget, if you're in a really tight spot mentally, do find help and reach out. I hope to see you again next video. Take care.